I woke up one morning and it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't go back to sleep because I had this pain in my side right under my rib cage, kind of like a stitch in your side, like when you run. And it wasn't like crippling pain, but it was enough to keep me awake, enough to make me just really kind of uncomfortable. So I got up and went to work, and I kept feeling the pain during the day. It wasn't overwhelming, it was just kind of annoying. Got through the day, came home around 5 or 6, and started feeling more pain. And it was about probably 7 or 7:30 at night when I decided that I needed to go to the emergency room because the pain was worse.
So I took her to the hospital, and we were there like 7 hours. It's unbelievable how long we were there. I kept going in and out in the waiting room. Last time I came in, she was crying, and I was like, "What's wrong?"
They thought that it might be gallbladder or possibly appendix, and they did an ultrasound and found lesions on my liver. Then they did a PET scan and found a tumor in my colon, and then they did a biopsy in my liver and found that it was colon cancer that had spread to my liver. So when we were driving home, both of us probably were having similar thoughts. Questions like, how long am I going to live? Am I going to get sick right away? Am I going to be able to see my grandkids? Are we going to be able to make this financially if I'm not working? What about health insurance? Every question you could possibly think of, just 100 miles an hour running through your mind. The statistics for stage 4 cancer are not good. Not very many people make it past 5 years. It was just unthinkable. And I'm young, so how could it possibly happen to me? And then when it does happen, it knocks you down. You don't really know what to do. And then it moves to, okay, it is real. What are we going to do about it? And how long do I have? And it took about 4 weeks before I went into treatment. And I had to tell you that those were the most anxious 4 weeks I've ever had, sitting there and feeling like you weren't doing anything, except realizing that you have cancer. So. I have worked for Blue Shield for just over 11 years. I've been in large group and specialty benefits just over 4 years. I think this experience gives me a perspective that I didn't really have before. I always tried to look at things from the customer perspective, but it was more a theoretical exercise. If I were in their shoes, what would I be thinking or doing? But, this is real. I know what somebody in this position is going through because I've been there. One of the doctors told me, stay off the internet because it's really depressing. It could really knock you down. But at the same time, I'm not going to stay off the internet because I'm going to take everything you tell me and I'm going to research it, because I'm not a person that is comfortable just sitting back and allowing things to happen to me unless I at least understand them.
They don't write them exactly the same, so it's kind of hard to compare.
What I found as you kind of work through the process is that you do have to be an advocate for your own care.
And this one says 3.9 to 3.5, but this one says up to 3.4.
Because it's a full-time job keeping up with all of the paperwork and the insurance bills and the doctor bills and the pre-authorizations.
Hi, I need to have a prescription refilled and I don't have the number.
And you're starting over again every time.
It's not happening.
The first time I had chemotherapy, I started feeling really, really bad. And I went into the office 2 days after my chemotherapy, and they gave me fluids. And they said that I was dehydrated and that I should have had more water. And I thought, why do you not make it really obvious that you need to make sure you take enough water?
So how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Now I have a book that I carry with me, and every time I talk to the doctor, I take notes. At the beginning, I started scanning it in and putting in a file so that I could find it online too and have an online backup. I have the medication in a binder with all of the side effects and things like that. I think there is something wrong with having to keep those kinds of records when you're sick. You're asking somebody that is not in a good situation to take the burden of the workload. It almost feels like I'm going through some kind of change, and I have always felt from the beginning that there's a reason that I have cancer. I don't know what the reason is, but there's something that I'm supposed to do with this. I think there's a couple lessons that I've already learned, and one is, no matter what's going on in your work life, it's not as important as taking care of your own health. Doing your job and doing it well is wonderful, but 5 or 10 years from now, nobody's going to care how much overtime you did. The other thing is just to try and be able to prioritize the things in your life to what is the most important. It's not like I want to shout it from the mountaintops, but if there's ever been a time that I need support, it's now.
I have pictures of me with my head clean, yeah. And I couldn't find those pictures. My house is torn up. I couldn't find the pictures.
Did you feel the same way? It was kind of easy and...
Oh, gosh.
At first it's
hair
like...
is overrated.
Yeah.
It's totally overrated. Are you kidding me?
You don't need hair.
All that money I spent on hair on all those years. It's too easy now.
Yeah, you see?
Go ahead, yeah.
I don't think you realize how many people you have that care about you lots of times until you have something like this happen. When you think that you have a limited amount of time,
That's pretty.
it's more important to me to spend time with my family. It seems like it's easier for us to not talk about it and, try and be as normal as possible. It's more about just getting through the day-to-day. So I think it's actually been not something that we dwell on as a family. We just try and keep going.
That's really pretty.
I honestly believe that the people at Blue Shield care, and they care a lot. They're treating people very, very well. But I think that there are things that we can do better to support our members. I think we probably do a really good job responding to the problems. We don't always do a good job avoiding the problems in the first place. Whether you're answering the phone as a customer service rep, or you're a case manager, or you're somebody that's working in installation and membership or billing, everything you do has an impact on the member. So I think it would be great if Blue Shield were able to give you some information about, here's how you've been diagnosed, and here's what you should expect, and here are some questions that you should ask, so that you have all the information you need to make decisions. To the extent that Blue Shield can remove any kind of work related to dealing with the insurance company or the providers, if we can take that off of the plates of people that are dealing with a chronic illness or a life-threatening disease, we've given them a huge gift. A year ago, I probably would have said, I hope people know that I'm conscientious and I care about my work and I get things done and I'm motivated. Today, I think that what I would want people to know is that I care about people and I want to be able to make a difference and make things easier for people. It's a very different perspective when you think you have a limited amount of time than when you think you are going to live to be 90. So pay attention and be in the moment.